Good evening, Tallahassee. This is student meteorologist Josh Malay here with your Thursday night weather forecast. So, as you go out to Doak Campbell Stadium, we're just seeing beautiful skies, lovely clouds out here, and also we're hanging around 75, so very nice indeed. Now, as you're seeing, we are seeing some ground scatter, but nothing to be worried about, although we do have some showers offshore that are dissipating as we speak, so nothing to be worried about nonetheless. So, tonight we're going to be expecting we're going to be getting down to 56 degrees, partly cloudy skies, so you might be able to go stargazing. You may not, just depends on the area, but nonetheless, tomorrow will be very nice. We'll be hanging around 83 degrees, a little warmer than I would like, but very nice indeed. So tonight, expect some things will be heating up in Tallahassee in time for homecoming, honk honk, find out the bird of the week, and what is Virga. All that and more with FSU weather.
Thank you, Josh. I am student meteorologist Joy Alone.
And I'm student meteorologist Summer Trolley.
And welcome to your Thursday edition of FSU Weather. And I have been enjoying this weather. What about you?
Oh, yeah, it's been beautiful here in Tallahassee. It's been great weather, nice and calm conditions, and it's going to be warming up a little bit this upcoming week. But
it definitely will be. But, I mean, there are some not nice weather conditions up in the North Midwest, so they will not be experiencing some nice weather like us in Tallahassee. They will be getting a lot of rain, and we'll see more about that on our show today.
Yeah, I'm very excited. We're looking forward to the show tonight. We're going to have a nice full show. So, Nika, can you let us know what's going on locally here?
Yes, I definitely can. But first, we're going to look at our live look at Doak Campbell Stadium. We're dealing with some clouds. We haven't seen much of that in the past few days, but we do have a little bit more moisture. It's been a bit more humid out today. And we're about to have a beautiful sunset. You can see the sun a little bit behind the clouds here, and the clouds will usually create reflections with really pretty colors. And if you want to see that, that's going to be pretty soon. But right now it's 75 degrees under partly cloudy skies, and our winds are out of the south at 9 miles per hour. You're not really going to feel too much of a breeze, but it will be a little bit noticeable. We're taking a look at our current temperatures around the area. We're dealing with temperatures in the mid-70s pretty much area-wide. 72 in Thomasville is our coolest spot right now. 76 here in Tallahassee and 76 in Sumatra are our warmest spots. So nothing too warm today, but it's going to start to get warmer as we head up to the next few days. But right now our dew points are near 60-degree dew points in Tallahassee, and that's why it is starting to feel a little bit more moist than it's felt the past few days. Monticello is always a little bit higher than it actually is, but we're probably dealing with dew points in the low 60s across that area and across the area near the coast as well, where it's a little bit more humid near the Gulf. So some areas actually have a heat index right now. Right now here in Tallahassee, it actually feels about a degree cooler than the actual air temperature, but closer to the coast, you're dealing with heat indexes around 80 in Sumatra. So it's going to feel pretty warm if you're going to be going out in that area. Today here in Tallahassee, we hit 79, not quite at 80. Today might be the last day we don't hit 80 for a while looking ahead. Our low is 48, which is also going to be the coolest we see for a while. It was below average, not as cool as it was last year in the state, though, where we hit 33. One of our coldest temperatures this early in the season occurred last year in the state. And it's also nowhere near 91 that we hit in 2005. Our current local radar, however, we're only dealing with some ground clutter in the area of Tallahassee, which is going to be birds or bugs and no precipitation. Up in southern Alabama, if you have any family and friends up here, you do have some light showers. Over the next day or so, we could see some showers and maybe an isolated thunderstorm tomorrow. The chance is down from what it was originally. I think there'll be a little bit more coverage than this, but we're not going to see a washout tomorrow. Tonight, though, it's going to be in the 50s here, 60s along the coast, and it's going to feel pretty nice outside. As we look across the area tomorrow, we are going to be expecting to get a little bit warmer than today as we see temperatures in the 80s. We're going to be near 80 degrees even at 6 p.m., about a 20 to 30% chance of showers and storms tomorrow. Now I'm going to pass things off to Josh.
Thank you so much, Nico. So as you zoom out to the entire state of Florida, we're just seeing some cloudy conditions all around, but beautiful conditions, especially in Panama City and Orlando with those lovely skies. Now, currently across the state, we're going from the low 70s in Jacksonville all the way down to low 80s in Key West. And those are just some of the highlights. But mainly we're dealing with some very warm temperatures considering it's fall. But either way, it's a nice fall nonetheless compared to summer. So dew points, well, we have 61 at Jacksonville, 70 down in Key West, but overall, they are not as muggy as we would expect, but muggier than I would prefer anyhow. So satellite, because we have a low that's situated around this area, we are actually seeing some clear conditions across the entire state. Although we do have this small band of showers, you don't really want to worry about that because it was dissipating as we are speaking. So for our rainfall throughout the weekend, we're going to be seeing some light showers go up to at most an inch, not even an inch, a tenth of an inch, especially in the Big Bend area and going into Miami. So just be on the lookout for some light rain this weekend, but nonetheless, it'll be very nice indeed. Now, so going into Miami, we're going to be seeing temperatures in the mid-80s going into the weekend. Tampa is going to be showing a similar story, but with a little bit cooler. It will be warming up nonetheless. Orlando, the city beautiful, we're going to be also seeing that warm up pattern across the state, and we're going to be getting up to 86 by Sunday. Jacksonville is going to be in the low 80s. We're actually going to get down to 79, very, very nice indeed, and we'll be warming back up on Sunday to 83. And finally, to end the recap, we'll be at 85 in Pensacola tomorrow. It's cool down slightly to just 82, and then we'll go back to 84 on Sunday afternoon. So as we go tonight, we're going to be seeing temperatures ranging from the mid-60s, even a low of 57 in Tallahassee, down into the mid-70s, and 74 being in Miami. Tomorrow, we're going to be seeing a very similar story as we saw today, where we were in the 80s all around, and we also saw some cooler spots in northern Florida, and then warmer spots in the southeast, with the hottest being in Miami and West Palm, being at 86 for both. So nonetheless, if you're planning to go out, especially for tomorrow for homecoming at the parade, I recommend you'll have a good time. Just make sure to drink a little bit of water, and also you won't really need to worry about that fleece zip up because it's not going to be really needed at this time. But Summer, what's going on?
Yeah, thank you, Josh. We're going to be expanding a little further out, and we're going to start talking about the southeast. As you can see, our cameras here, it's looking cloudy throughout the entire southeastern region. Maybe the clouds are starting to clear out a little bit in Tampa, but overall, cloudy here in Georgia. As you can see, 66 degrees there. Miami, 82 degrees, and overall, just lots of clouds right now. Tallahassee, we're sitting right here at 76 degrees. Down south in Miami, 81 degrees, and overall, it's fairly warm, but a little milder temperatures up, let's say, in like Atlanta, 68 degrees. And Shreveport, it's at 85 degrees, nice and warm there. The dew points, we're pretty normal here, pretty moist overall, or pretty moderate overall, not very moist and not very dry. We're sitting right in the center there. 60 here in Tallahassee. Little Rock, they're a little drier than we are here. They're at 44, which they may be starting to see some drought over there. Wind speed and direction here, it's 4 degrees coming from the south out of the Gulf here in Tallahassee. And overall, we have just slight winds throughout. Little Rock is sitting at 13 miles per hour, but overall just winds underneath 10 miles per hour. Pretty calm day here across the southeast. Tallahassee, again, you can see this relative humidity. It's overall pretty dry. There's a little bit of moisture here, but overall it's nothing too concerning. There are a lot of dry spots, and you can see that radar over that as well. The heat index, 75 degrees in Tallahassee here, and again, Miami, 82 degrees, and overall fairly warm the more west we go. In New Orleans, 80 degrees overall. And the storm outlook for day one today. We in Tallahassee have nothing to worry about. However, a little north of us, our friends in Atlanta and Montgomery, Alabama, they're experiencing non-severe risk of storms. And as we go into tomorrow, we will be seeing the non-severe risk of storms, and then a little in South Carolina, they'll be experiencing, in South Carolina, they'll be experiencing marginal risk for storms. And once we get to day 3, there'll be nothing. We'll be clear across the board. Looking forward to that on day 3. Thursday, as you can see, this front system moving up, coming from the west, moving east out to sea there. That's what's going to be bringing us some of these storms and some of the rain that they're going to be seeing, and a lot more in South Carolina there, as that's sitting there for a little bit. And again, it's going to bring some cloud cover throughout and a little bit of showers for us. Tonight's forecast, Tallahassee, 57. Overall, it's going to be calm, calm temperatures, cool temperatures. You may need a light jacket if you're going out, but it's pretty nice across the board here. Tomorrow's forecast, 83 degrees in Tallahassee. Again, partly cloudy as we're going to see that front coming through. And over across the board, it's going to be pretty sunny. Besides north of us, they're going to be seeing some of those showers coming through. But now we're going to switch. Joy, what's going on in the tropics?
Thank you, Summer. So, yes, it is October, and we are still having tropical systems here. So let's take a peek at the Atlantic Ocean and see what's brewing. And here it is, Tropical Storm Tammy right down here. The Leeward Islands are right over there. There's Puerto Rico. So Tammy is trying to keep herself unified right now. We have maximum sustained winds of 16 miles per hour, moving west-northwest at 13 miles per hour right now. Pressure 1001 millibars. Here we can see our look of where Tammy is headed. So we think that the center of Tammy will hit the Leeward Islands sometime between Friday and 2 p.m. and Saturday at 2 p.m. And Tammy could intensify into a Category 1 hurricane by the time it leaves the Leeward Islands due to increasing sea surface temperatures and moderate vertical shear. And all of our spaghetti models do agree with this trend curving up there due to a weak Bermuda high. I mean, we have one spaghetti model over there not really following the rest. So in terms of our watches and warnings, here on the island of Dominica, we have a tropical storm warning, and on our island of Antigua and Barbuda, we have another tropical storm warning, and past these areas, we have tropical storm watches. The system is not too big, but those areas could see some wind. And as I mentioned, those sea surface temperatures are pretty warm, so Tammy has some juice to try to revitalize and keep herself going and strengthen up. So if you are living in those islands, please be aware. And in terms of our advice that we have, watch for those national hurricane updates. Make sure that you review your hurricane plans and stock up hurricane kits. Those islands can experience a lot of storm surge with the flooding that can happen with those storms. So people on those islands should have water, they should have portable chargers, maybe even generators in case power goes out, and always be prepared. Anything could happen with a storm, especially if you're living on islands like that. Not to mention, the islands of Puerto Rico and the American Virgin Islands could experience some wind as well, even though they're not under a tropical storm watch. So now let's take it to the desk for our weather what?
Yes, thank you, Joy. We do have, now as our reminder, we do have to deal with hurricane season until November 30th, so we're not out of the woods yet. We do still have a few more weeks, even if it is cooling off.
Yeah, most definitely. But anyhow, let's get to weather what. And this brings us to our weather what segment. What is Virga?
So Virga's precipitation that evaporates before it hits the ground, usually due to dry air. You can sometimes see the gray coming down from the sky, like you would see when there's rain falling, but it never actually hits the ground due to that evaporation.
Yeah, it looks really cool because, well, one, especially in the sunlight, it looks even cooler, but also it looks like it's kind of like the rainfall that is trying to make it down, but because of it evaporating before it reaches the ground, we never really feel it. So as you see with this infographic, Virga is exactly illustrating what Nico said. It's flying out regular precipitation, but because it goes through a batch of dry air, it's gonna warm up a lot quicker, and then thus by the time it goes down, it's gonna evaporate before ever reaching it. So for under that, you would never feel it.
Yeah, definitely. And I've seen it a lot in the summer. This is a picture of Virga. It actually looks pretty cool, but a lot of times in the summer, storms are just starting to fall apart at the end of the day, or if they're just starting to pop up, you can start to see Virga before it ends up being moist enough near the ground for it to actually hit the ground. That's one example of that.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I wish I could see that before. But speaking of storms, that just because Virga won't fall and hit us on the ground doesn't mean that it's not a danger nonetheless, because oftentimes there'll be a signal that there could be developments of microbursts, which doesn't pose a threat to us on the ground, but those in airplanes and aircraft of any type, they're very much really a danger of microbursts. Another thing to also keep in mind is that they signify dry thunderstorms, which is a thunderstorm without any rain. I know you're shocked, I'm shocked too, but they do happen. So essentially, all this is you're just going to be here. You'll hear thunder and you'll see lightning. So if you see Virga, start looking out for signs of a thunderstorm.
Yes, definitely. And a lot of times if you're out in the mountains, like in the Rockies, that's a common area to see those dry thunderstorms because there's so much dry air near the ground levels west of the Rockies, but you have virga falling, it's never hitting the ground, but then you can have that lightning start forest fires, and that's never good. But if you hear that thunder, you definitely want to go indoors, just as you would if it is raining.
Yeah, it's always, if you hear the thunder, see the lightning, always go indoors, and always, and treat it like it as if it was a regular thunderstorm. Go inside, stay away from the windows if it gets really severe, and always, and this is for anything, whether it be thunderstorms, hurricanes, tornadoes, always stay weather aware, so that you know about the watches, the warnings, and you're always knowing how to plan your day and how to navigate severe weather safely.
Yes, definitely. But now we're going to send things off to the wall with Summer.
Yes, thank you guys. We're going to expand out again and look at the whole nation here. Starting here in Tallahassee, 75 degrees, partly cloudy. As we move further west, we're seeing temperatures increase in Texas. They're still hot out there in Texas, not as hot as it was a month ago, but still fairly warm out there, sitting close to 90 degrees. San Francisco, 85 degrees, and up in Seattle, 69 degrees. In the current dew points, again, we're fairly comfortable here. The dew point's 60, and as we move further west, they're experiencing some very, very low dry conditions there. 27 is a dew point in Denver. They may be experiencing, again, some drought, which we'll look at a little later. And the current radar and satellite, as you can see, that front system coming through the north, or the mid-Atlantic here, going northeast through, they're moving towards Pennsylvania and up through New York over the next couple days. And as I was just talking about, the drought monitor. Tallahassee, we're pretty normal here, but New Orleans, they're looking extreme drought. And again, further west, again, there's some areas, again, of extreme drought, which is pretty substantial, and they need to be paying attention to that, especially for crops and such out there. And we're going to look a little further closer at this rainfall forecast over the next few days through the northeast. This is through Sunday, and some areas are about half an inch of rain up here through Washington, D.C. and up into eastern Pennsylvania. But as you look up further towards the far northeast, up in Maine here, they're going to be seeing closer to about 3 inches to maybe even 5 inches of rain, which is a nice chunk of rain for them up there. So if they're going out, they're going to need some rain jackets and umbrellas. This storm outlook, again, we see that just north of us in Tennessee and such, they're experiencing non-severe storm threat for now. And again, as we move into the next day, tomorrow, as that storm's moving east, they're seeing non-severe around us, around our area, and then again in South Carolina, they're going to see a marginal risk for storms. And again, clear across the board, as we can see for Storm Day Outlook 3 as of right now for Saturday, as that storm will be off in the water. Tallahassee and this pretty much the entire eastern part of the United States is in a likely above normal for temperature range. And as we move further west, it's going to be closer to normal. And then as you move further north up here in the Dakotas and such, they're going to be seeing below normal temperatures. Tonight's temperature starting here in Tallahassee, 57 degrees, a beautiful night, highly suggest getting out. And again, across the entire board, it's going to be quite chilly in some areas, such as Kansas City, 47 degrees, and even in Chicago, 52 degrees, they're going to be seeing some rain. So if they're going out, they're going to need some rain jackets. Tonight's temperatures, again, tomorrow's temperature is going to be warming up across the board. Overall, it's going to be a nice condition, so get outside tomorrow. And Josh, what's going on with the bird of the week?
That's right. Now, everybody, drum roll, please. As our bird of the week is, here's the segment that you've been waiting for. If you got the hint, honk honk, then our bird of the week is the Canada goose. That's right, I said Canada goose, not Canadian goose. So the Canada goose is basically a very abundant North American waterfowl species. And now, while these may look very nice, they can be very threatening as well, as they have head pumping, spreading their wings out, and hissing and honking, make them look very intimidating. So don't bother them. In winter, they're very tough, as they can survive with sources of open water, food resources, and even in extremely cold conditions. Now, as you know the name, they're clearly found in Canada, which brings us to Montreal. So we're mainly hanging around 57 degrees Fahrenheit, and we're mainly having mostly cloudy conditions with little to no winds whatsoever. But as we go to our temperature almanac, we're going to be at a high today of 62, warmer than average of 55, and low of 52, warmer than average of 40. Okay, so current temperatures, we're going to be hanging around, currently across the area, we're mainly hanging around the upper 50s in Fahrenheit. We're going from the 10 to 15 in Celsius. And then as you zoom out. Currently, we're seeing some rain go through the area, but nonetheless, it's not very severe at all, just some light, isolated pop-up showers. And speaking of pop-up showers, going through tomorrow into Friday, we're going to see some pop-up showers, especially out here in the west, and it's going to be building and for the most part, we're just going to be having overcast throughout the next 24 hours. Now, for going to the 4-day forecast, we're going to be seeing temperatures going from 64 in Fahrenheit around 12 to 13 Celsius and build its way down to 50 Fahrenheit, 10 Celsius. And that will be, and for the most part, we're going to be hanging around very nice conditions in terms of temperature. But Saturday and Sunday, we need to also keep an eye out for rain. So if you're going to be having any of those plans in Montreal, I suggest just go stay inside and enjoy poutine. I'm really craving that right now. Now thinking about it, I'm just really hungry. But the lows are going to get really cold as we'll be getting into 41 Fahrenheit, 5 Celsius. So make sure to bundle up if you're going to be doing any nighttime activities. Now, Joy, speaking of nighttime activities, what's going on around town with the lifestyle?
Well, Josh, I'll let you know that it is an absolutely fantastic and ideal day here in the Panhandle. Look at these lovely live cameras. We got some beautiful clouds there. St. George Island is perfect for a lovely night walk on the beach. Panama City, that sun is shining so bright, and Lake Bradford, those cumulus clouds are popping, looking beautiful as always. And here across the board here on the Panhandle, we have low to mid 70s, and the temperatures are consistent and they are amazing. My favorite type of weather, sunny and slightly warm, but very comfortable temperatures. And those dew points are a little bit muggy, but it shouldn't feel too muggy outside. It should feel lovely. 59 in Tallahassee. If you are in Monticello, however, it could feel a little bit muggy over there. If you are a fan of stargazing like me, just kidding, I am not a really big stargazer fan, but I will stargaze tonight because our conditions will be fantastic for it. Great conditions, no clouds with a waxing crescent, amazing. And if you were flying out of Tallahassee International Airport today, experience no delays as our weather is perfect. Except if you are flying on Silver Airways, there is always a delay with them, so you better go online and check with that. And looking at our airports here across the United States, we are looking at low delays. Amazing time to go fly if you want to visit your family or if you have business meetings to attend. Tomorrow's forecast, a high of 83, and it should be lovely and comfortable. A breeze of 14 miles per hour should cool us off as well, so it should feel just absolutely stunning here in Tallahassee. If you are walking your dog, beautiful day to do it as well. That sun will be out all day and your dog will feel so comfortable walking in temperatures of 62 degrees at 9 a.m. So your puppy's paws will feel lovely walking on concrete because the concrete won't be really hot. If you're going to the pool tomorrow, great day to tan. It should feel nice and comfortable, but make sure you wear sunscreen. Even if you don't feel hot, that sun is still affecting your skin. By noon, it will be 76, and by 3 p.m., some clouds should appear in the sky, but it will be 80 degrees. So again, wear your sunscreen, and that goes for the beach as well. So it's a lovely beach day. As I said, go for a walk on the beach. We have school off tomorrow past 1 p.m. If you are not celebrating homecoming, go to the beach. That is what I will be doing after I study for my midterm, of course. And tonight, 64 and clear, lovely night to go out if you want to celebrate homecoming. I highly recommend you go out tonight with your friends. And something I do highly recommend is our FSU Flying High Circus. Only 2 schools in the country have a circus, and we are one of them. And our circus is fantastic. I love the shows we put on. 78 and partly cloudy. It is tomorrow at 7 p.m. is their performance. Be there or be square. And countdown, let's talk about how Halloween is in 12 days. I love Halloween. Thanksgiving, 35 days. Lovely holidays coming up. I am so excited, and our weather should be just fantastic, hopefully, for Halloween. And now, let's finish it off with Nico and our local.
Yes, thank you, Joy. We're going to be looking around the area. Our live look at the res, 75 degrees right now at the res. As you're looking towards sunset, we're looking at some clouds. We're going to have a beautiful sunset out here on the lake if you want to go out to the lake this evening to watch that. But right now around the area, we're dealing with temperatures that haven't really gone down too much yet, but they're going to go down pretty quickly tonight after the sun sets, but not as quickly as the past few nights, as we're only expected to get into the 50s tonight. We're looking at 76 right now here in Tallahassee. 76 in Sumatra is still our other hot spot. Along the coast, we are seeing a little bit lower temperatures during the day because it's so close to the water, which does tend to keep it a little bit cooler until it gets to winter, and then it will keep it warmer because of how hot the Gulf is. Thomasville is 72, and that's our cool spot right now. our dew points are telling the main story of why we're feeling a little bit more moisture outside today. It's a little bit more humid, and it's going to continue to get a little bit more humid every day for the next week or so because of those increasing temperatures. We may have a dry, cold front come through with a few showers and storms tomorrow, but after that, there's no more fronts in the foreseeable future. Looking at our wind speed and direction, we're dealing with a slight southerly breeze here in Tallahassee, but it's not going to be too much to notice. If you go anywhere into Georgia, you're really dealing with calm winds to 5 miles an hour, and that's not going to be noticeable for y'all up there at all. But looking tonight, it's going to be 58 degrees here in Tallahassee. One more night where we're going to not really deal with super humid conditions, but along the beach, we're still dealing with temperatures in the 60s, and that's pretty warm for this time of the year. In just a couple days, we're near our coolest temperatures that we've had so far this year. Currently, our local radar, the only showers we see are disappearing offshore and way out here in southeastern Alabama, a little bit closer to where the cold front is currently located. And as we look at our current or future radar, you're going to see where the cold front does set up tomorrow. It's not a very strong cold front, but where you see this line of clouds, we may have a few pop-up showers and isolated storms tomorrow afternoon. That's where we're going to be seeing our cold front come through. It's not going to knock temperatures down too much, but you may have a quick downpour, so definitely be prepared for that if you're going to be going out for the homecoming parade tomorrow. Looking at our day planner, we're going to be dealing with 50s in the morning, but not as cool as the past few days. By noon, we're only a few degrees off from 80. Around midday is when our highest chance of rain is going to be, maybe a little bit higher than 20%, depending how much moisture we can get with the front, but it's not going to be widespread, and it's not going to be a washout. If we do get hit by a storm here in Tallahassee, it's not going to last much longer than maybe a half hour or so. And for that reason, it's also going to be a pretty good day to go out and drive around, as long as you have your air conditioning on, because 80 degrees is pretty warm. If you're going to drive without AC, I would suggest doing it in the morning before it gets super warm. If you're going to go out to the soccer game tonight, it's going to be a great night for soccer. We're ranked #1 in the country now in soccer, which is great, and we're playing at 7 o'clock. It's going to be 71, which is great temperature to be playing outdoor sports in. For tennis, we're playing in Gainesville this weekend. We're dealing with temperatures that are a little bit too warm, especially by Sunday for this time of the year, but at least there won't be any precipitation for that. Volleyball versus Boston College tomorrow evening is going to be indoors, but it's going to be nice for that. The big football game versus Duke, it's going to be nice all evening, no chances of storms. I'm going to be going to that, and if y'all are going to that, you're not going to have to deal with being burnt or dealing with any rain like being burnt like last week. But we're going to stay warm all the way through Monday at least, and we're going to stay warm past that too. But now I'm going to send things off to the desk with Summer and Joy.
Yes, thank you, Nico. It's going to be quite warm this weekend. I know I'll be going to the Duke game versus FSU. I don't know if anyone else will be going, but it's going to be warm. But again, it'll be pretty comfortable. What do you think, Joy?
I think it'll be great. I think I will be going stargazing tonight, actually. But I hope everyone at the Duke game has a lot of fun because I will be studying for my midterm tomorrow. Yeah. Hopefully at the beach.
Oh, there you go. We're gonna be having some nice weather for the beach tomorrow, so I highly suggest getting out and doing that. Maybe you'll see Joy there, and that'll be pretty cool. You make some new friends there.
Make some new friends at the beach. If you want to study weather instruments and observations with me, feel free to. I would love to teach you.
Yeah, that'd be great. So follow us on Twitter at www.twitter.com/FSUweather.
And make sure to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/FSUweather.
And watch us live on YouTube like you're doing right now, youtube.com/FSUweather.
And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at FSU Weather.
We also have a TikTok, so feel free to follow us on there. We post fun videos behind the scenes.
It is a lovely TikTok to follow. I follow it myself, so I highly recommend you do as well.
Right, thank you guys for watching.
Have